Hey guys, welcome to my first YouTube video 2020. Outliers, the 10,000 hour rule, 2020 vision team. I just finished reading this book by author Malcom Gladwell. It was a very compelling and interesting read. It was a very personal book for me. I'd highly commend this book for your reading list in 2020 if you haven't read it already. It was a book I recently heard Calvin Becerra mention, and he's one of the top leaders in Jeunesse Global, so I put it on my reading list. The second chapter really stuck out for me, and I related the 10,000 hour rule to myself in several ways. So see if these points don't relate to you as well. So here's a short summary of the chapter's main points. Gladwell notes that all success stories have similarities, and one of them is that successful individuals spend a lot of time practicing and working on their craft. Sound familiar? Remember, practice makes perfect? In fact, Gladwell cites studies and sociologists who claim that for an individual to become an expert in any skill, they need to spend about 10,000 hours practicing or working on it. Overwhelmingly, statistics show that all successful people in their fields had at least 10,000 hours of experience before they made it big. Isn't that interesting? So here's my question. How and where are you getting your 10,000 hours? Gladwell makes the point that to get 10,000 hours of practice, it usually takes about a decade. You need a lot of luck also, and often extraordinary circumstances. So for example, a guy named Bill Joy, who was a renowned computer programmer and pioneer for internet technology back in like the late 60s, early 70s, he worked at the University of Michigan. And it was one of the few places in the country at that time that was equipped with a computer lab that was capable of time sharing. That was a big thing back then. That was an invention that allowed programming to go much faster. Very few places had it. And additionally, Joy found a way to log hours in the lab for free. He was a pretty smart guy. From then on, he was hooked and he accomplished his 10,000 hours. And that was an opportunity that most people would not have had. And then in this chapter, Gladwell also describes the same phenomenon with Bill Gates, who we're very familiar with up here in Seattle area. He had a series of fortunate, very lucky events that allowed Gates to gain 10,000 hours of practice at a very young age, from family he was born into, the school he went to, his parents, the money they had. And then he also describes the Beatles, who got a lucky break, and they were invited to play in Hamburg, Germany, where they spent 7 days a week playing for about 8 hours a day or more. This is before they made it big, but it was through that experience that they gained the time needed to become a great band, and all this obviously before they hit the U.S. So Gladwell covers how combining skills with in a period of history also enables many to succeed. For example, if we look back at our American business history, most wealthy Americans throughout history were born within the same time frame in the late 19th century. Andrew Carnegie, Vanderbilt, guys like that, and that allowed them to take advantage of the Industrial Revolution. And Gladwell's assertion is that most people do not have the fortunate or lucky circumstances to allow them to pursue their passions in such dedicated time blocks. And I think I'd have to agree there. Many successful people share the similar story that because of circumstances, luck, and chance, they were able to spend time doing what they loved most, and that aided in their ability to succeed. But, and hear this is what I truly believe, that those of us in 3LE Global and Jeunesse Global are at the cutting edge of such an opportunity right here in 2020. And we're certainly outliers in that sense. Everything in the book Outliers says that success follows a predictable course. It's not the brightest who succeed. I'm not the smartest guy out there. Nor is success simply the sum of decisions and efforts that we make on our own behalf. It could, but not necessarily. It is rather a gift. And so my question is, will you accept the gift and run with it this year? Outliers are those who have been given opportunities and who have had the strength and presence of mind to seize them. And Gladwell concludes, he says, the lesson here is very simple, but it's striking how often it's overlooked. We're so caught in the myths of the best and the brightest and the self-made that we think outliers spring naturally from the earth. Well, here's a hint. They don't. Most of us just need a chance, right? Let me repeat that again. Most of us just need a chance. Well, here's your chance. Don't miss getting on the train of 3LE Global and Jeunesse Global this year. Feel free to hit the subscribe button or comment if this piqued your interest. Of course, if you're interested in getting more information on becoming a 3LE team member, you have questions, please contact me at the links provided. And have an awesome 2020. Have 2020 vision, guys. Bye-bye.